Now You're Wrestling. It's me here, Mark Silvester, and today we are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest man alive, Richy Filmer!
Good morning, afternoon, evening, and brunch time. I've not been on this podcast in God knows how many years. I'm super glad to be back, and we've just come back from a live show. This is going to be an awesome podcast, and I'm excited to be back, Mark. How the devil have you been?
I've been good, thank you, Richie, man. I know it's been far too long, and it's finally nice to have you back on the pod, and we've got to do this more often again, mate. We used to love doing our little podcasts. We used to do like the little side ones, and then the main show on the way home.
Yeah, well, life got busy. I had my little girl, and she's old enough now that I can sort of devote more time to this. And obviously, we've done a lot of recording in
lockdown. Yeah, I think we used to do like one a week, didn't we? We'd be like both aboard. Let's do something. Let's record. Yeah, hell yeah. So yeah,
but now I'm back on the podding scene now, mate. So yeah, I'm excited, and let's go.
Let's go indeed, mate. Yes, let's go. So today we went to see at the Copper Box Arena, which is in Stratford, which is basically right next to the London Stadium. We went to see New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest 3. So we thought go for a bit of change of pace, change of scenery. We normally go to York Hall for Rev Pro, but we thought, you know what? We've been to Wembley Stadium, we've been to here, we've been to there. Let's try something else. Let's try New Japan again. And yeah, it was a good show, and the arena itself was quite good. Quite full. I mean, probably about 70% full, I reckon. I mean, there was a few empty spaces, but as Will Ospreay said, people don't have that sort of like excess money like they used to do.
Absolutely.
And it was just cool to be in a room full of like-minded people as well.
It was, and we've not experienced, like, either of us, like, been to the Copper Box Arena before, so we didn't know what to expect. Acoustically, it's fantastic. It's a much more modern building than the York Hall. The York Hall is still the same, don't we? York Hall still feels like home for us when we do Rev Pro. Yeah. And this was a New Japan / Rev Pro show. I mean, the actual ring apron was still Rev Pro. But York Hall we love, but Copper Box today or this evening, and really, really, really good show.
Really good show. I mean, the last two matches alone were like, both for me, at least 5-star matches.
Yeah, me
Those
too.
two matches were great.
Yeah, me too. And obviously, we haven't that long come back from All In. So, I mean, what's the date? So, we are the 14th of October. And it was only last month we was at All In. So, We've gone from basically a mega super AAA show to like a B show. And I think wrestling, you don't need to be in a huge arena to give it an atmosphere, because the atmosphere tonight was absolutely on point. And I think on New Japan World or whatever, if anyone caught it live, you probably see us on the hard cam marking out. But man, it really was a fantastic atmosphere from top to bottom. The card was stacked.
I mean, you had 10 matches, and the time went so quickly. It was only 3 hours long, which for a wrestling event, you kind of like praise the Lord. It wasn't like a 4 or 5 hour show like some shows are like. But yeah, man, I thought it was great. We had a bit of an adventure before the show, because basically we went to get some merch, or I went to get some merch. I'm so sorry, Richie. And basically we were told, if you go upstairs, you better Wi-Fi. So okay then. So we spoke to one of the stewards. He let us up, and then we tried to get through. Had so much issues, and then we had to go outside, come down the stairs, and walk probably about 1,000 or 1,500 steps. And it's just like, in a sense, as much as I love my merch, I'm a bit kind of like, was it really worth it? If you know what I mean?
I was going to say it was an expensive walk, wasn't it? I mean,
it was, yes.
Well, basically,
we got some steps in, though.
Yeah, I got my steps up. My smartwatch was going crazy. But it's. I think the guy that let us up really shouldn't. Basically, what it was is we was on the ground floor, so we was on the ground like next to ringside, and we wanted to buy some merch, but Mark did. And then we went to buy it, didn't we? The ladies,
we did, yeah.
The lady's like little Wi-Fi connector wasn't working to pay on the card, so she said, "Go upstairs." So we asked the guy, and the guy went, "Yeah, let us upstairs." We bought some merch. Mark bought some merch. I bought a beer. And then we had to end up walking around the whole stadium because no one would let us down to our seats.
And then we had a really nice one, but he was going to them. We had this grouchy old man. I was like, no one's coming through, no one's coming through.
At her. Man, they need to sort out. I reckon that wasn't like event staff. I reckon that was like third party.
I reckon so, yeah.
He was a really moody guy. But it didn't dampen the atmosphere, because once we got to our seats, we was ready to go.
Yeah, we were definitely, man. And the first match we had was between Robbie X versus Taiji Ishimori.
Basically, Bone Soldier from Bullet Club, fucking fantastic. Opening match, really good. Obviously, Robbie X, a high flyer in his own right. I call him Bone Soldier because I just butcher his real name.
Yeah, I do as well. I'll probably butcher his real name as well.
He reminds me of like a hamster on steroids.
Oh, yeah. Did you not see how fucking massive he is?
He's always been massive.
It's been like he's fucking got a lot of beef on him.
He's kind of like the Mike Tyson of pro wrestling in terms of like quite short and just built like a fridge.
Yes, but he can move though. He's a bit like the Brock Lesnar kind of type where he's built like a fridge, but he can move really fast. And Robbie X is still great as well and stuff. And it was cool to see some of his big moves and stuff and how he got a great reaction as well, where you can kind of see the Rev Pro influence in it by having in a sense a lot of Rev Pro people, but it helps Rev Pro because it gets them onto the New Japan shows, which then hopefully will then get them to be bigger and get them onto New Japan as well.
I'm a massive fan of cross promoting. And obviously, this was a cross promotion match straight out the gate. So, Robbie X, Bone Soldier, nothing really to write home about. Bone Soldier went over, but it weren't nothing to write home. What I quite liked about this show is it kind of set a pace. So, the first match being kind of like a lightweight cruiserweight match, but they didn't throw all the high flying manoeuvres in straight away. I think there was one dive to the outside, so nothing was repeated. That's one thing I did like about this show. Like, every match served its own purpose. It wasn't like an AEW show where the first match they'd have tables and chairs, then the main event's a hardcore match. Do you think, well, I've seen it tonight? They kept everything fresh.
Oh, definitely. And also as well, the good thing about the match as well too, it's like you found the pace, but like you said as well, it's one of those things where it's just like it was quite short. It didn't overstate its welcome. It wasn't like every match was half an hour, 40 minutes. They made each match like worth its weight in gold. I mean, I know it's a bit of a spoiler, but before in a sense, the main two matches, like the final two, I think each match potentially didn't go even above 10 minutes, which obviously.
And that was really, really good because the semi-main and the main did go on, but that's what you want to do because that's what people have come to see.
How did you find the thing where the guy was saying 5 minutes gone, 5 minutes gone? At first, I was a bit kind of like, really? It's kind of I don't want to know how long it is, but then I kind of like after a while, it kind of made it seem more like, okay, are they going to do a draw? Are they going to have it so? Making it more like, oh my god, the match is going to end soon, who's going to win kind of thing as well?
Well, back in old school wrestling, that used to be normal. Like, that was part of the show. 5 minutes remaining, or 5 minutes have gone. That used to be a thing, but WWE now don't actually say how long a match is for. The following contest scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. That's a thing of the past. So
yeah, it is.
Maybe Japan. I've not watched any Japan kind of like domestic shows for a while. On sort of like on YouTube or Access, so maybe that kind of might be their thing again.
Yeah,
which is great because it gives you another out. You know, if you don't want someone to sort of look bad, or you don't want to put someone over too strong, or for the storyline, you can have a time limit. You know, you couldn't get the job done in 10 minutes. Let's have a half-hour main event match. So there's reason for it. But I quite like that aspect. You know, I think it was quite cool to know. Also, as well, kind of like the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. You thought, well, this is going to be short. You weren't going to be like,
come on, hurry
half
up.
hour. Like, it's going to go 10 minutes regardless, which I quite liked. I liked it, yeah, man.
Yeah, I liked it as well. And also, as well, I felt the opening match put over both men quite well. You got to see, if you've never seen Robbie X before, you got to see some of his best stuff.
Yeah.
If you've never seen Ishimori, that sort of thing. That's really good as well too. So yeah, great opening match.
Yeah, not much to talk about, but solid match.
Yeah, solid match. The second match we had was between Trent Seven versus El Desperado. Now, for me, I thought that was quite an interesting match to have Trent Seven come out as well. Do you reckon they might potentially take on Trent Seven? Because I know he lost against El Desperado, but the way he was able to kind of like be big against him, use his heelish stuff, and all that kind of stuff as well.
Trent Seven. Trent Seven. Yeah, I mean, he's a British strong style kind of like staple. I enjoyed the match. I don't know the guy, and I don't want to talk out of turn. Great worker. He's probably more of a coaching role now because of his NXT background, and obviously he was one of Triple H's kind of like right hand men to like train the new guys. I mean, he doesn't look like a wrestler. I know,
No, it doesn't. No.
nor does Kofi Eddie Kingston. Sorry, but yeah, the match was all right. Yeah, it's probably one of my least favourites on the card tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think the thing that made it better for me was how good of a heel Trent Seven was and how he was able to play up to the crowd and stuff and to get the crowd involved. And when he came out as well, you can kind of feel that sort of like atmosphere being, oh, it's Trent Seven because, you know, of his WWE background and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, when they said the one of the best chants of the night was, "Where is your partner?"
Yes.
I thought that was actually pretty fun.
Or also the other one, I was like, where is your belt? Because he stole the Rev Pro Championship. That's when he had that little feud with Michael Oku as well. So,
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, it was okay. Nothing to write home about. Again, these are the first two matches of the card. It was a good show. The best things about these matches, like we said earlier, short matches, they're 10 minutes. It's come in, have a bit of fun, do some best hits, and leave.
Yeah.
And that's what the crowd wanted tonight, and it was good. Yeah, so nothing to write home. Nothing wrong with the match. Nothing outstanding. It was just a match. They done a wrestling.
Yeah, they did. Yes, very much.
They did a wrestling very well.
It's wrestling. The third match we had, was between Luke Jacobs versus Yoto Yushi. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry if I butchered these names in any way. I apologise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this match was pretty good. Don't really remember it very well because obviously it's one of the first few matches. But I like that. Obviously, like we said earlier, the pacing was quite good. It didn't feel too long. It was a good amount of time, and when it ended, I was like, oh, another match that was like less than 10 minutes again. So,
yeah, another quick match.
Yeah.
I like Luke Jacobs. Last time I saw him at Red Pro, I really liked his work. I think he's kind of coming into the main event scene now. I can imagine him working with Michael Oku and putting on some really good stuff.
Apparently, I remember it now. So apparently he had a really good match against Ishii at the Red Pro 11th anniversary. Apparently they were saying that was one of the best matches of the entire weekend.
Yeah, well,
it was
to me,
really good. But then again, he was really like some of the moves he was doing as well was insane.
Oh yeah, I mean he's an old school Japanese worker, but Jacobs, I remember when we went to the Rumble, the Rev Pro Rumble, he stood out then. I thought he had a really good sort of like shining in that, and I'm glad they're using him for these bigger shows. Yeah, I reckon he's a name to keep an eye on. Who's that other guy that I used to like who ended up beating up the referee?
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, I think he could be the next Josh, like in the fact of the size of him. He's a strong guy. He seems quite clean cut. You never hear a bad word about him in the industry, and there's a lot of bad people in this game. So, yeah, Luke Jacobs, man, big props to him. He didn't go over though, did he not?
No. A lot of the hills kind of went over too, didn't they?
Yeah, it was quite hill heavy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, very hill heavy as well. And I quite liked as well with the announcing. It was all to do with like in the blue corner and the red corner, kind of adding more to the sports light feel to it as well.
The Japanese style.
Yeah. And the next match we had was for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship.
Yes, Dan Maloney.
Between Dan the Man Maloney.
Absolutely.
And Clark Connors versus Cameron Kay and Leon Slater. I thought this match was good. I mean, this match was another match I felt had a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Yes, they showed you some big moments, some big spots, but it didn't take away from the later matches. So when the even more bigger moments came, it didn't feel like you were like, oh, but they did it earlier in the night, you know.
I think this was the first match that was kind of like story fed, which I really enjoyed.
And I should have counted how many times they spat at each other as well.
Oh my god, that was No, that was the Finley match later on. We'll get to that.
Oh, was it the Finley match? Oh, I thought it was that match as well.
It was there was a bit of spitting. There's a lot of spit tonight.
Yes, I think New Japan, they like their spit. They like to spit.
I think it was called the New Japan Royal Quest Free Spit As Much As You Like show.
Yes. I bet you there was a competition, like who can spit the furthest? Oh, you can.
Well, that was Finley.
Yes. Oh, definitely. That was
But
sure.
coming back to the IWGP Cruise Light Heavyweight sort of tag trials, yeah, Bullet Club, what do they call themselves? The Bullet Club War Dogs.
Yeah.
Dan Maloney again at the Royal Rumble or the Red Pro Rumble. He had a singles match, and I can't remember who he was against. It was before he was part of the Bullet Club, and by God, I said to you, I remember saying, this guy is awesome. He looks like a pro wrestler. He's got the physique. He's got the style. He's relaxed in there, and I think having that Bullet Club heel kind of character now, he can be cocky, slow his game down, work heel, work from sort of underneath, feed the baby face. I thought this match was fantastic. I really, really, really dig this match. Big pops in the match. Again, nothing really to speak home about in terms of, oh, do you remember when they done a brainbuster and it was absolutely devastating? But no one was on their arse. Everyone was standing up, cheering the match the whole way through.
Oh, hugely.
And they were bringing the people in, like they really were. Even the face team was absolutely fantastic. You know,
yeah, definitely. Sorry, I just find the most interesting thing for me is a few years ago the Bullet Club were so popular. Now they're like the proper heels that everyone like boos now.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was always been a heel faction, but yeah.
I think it just shows us how long we haven't seen much of it at all to be like, oh my fucking god, these guys are like the bad guys now. And didn't Dan Maloney turn to the Bullet Club tonight on the Red Pro Rumble, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
he joined the Bullet Club, yeah.
He joined Bullet Club post-match. Yeah. There you go. So there you go. That shows how long we haven't seen it. So since the Royal Rumble, the Red Pro Rumble, which was in the Royal Rumble season, he's joined Bullet Club, and he is now the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion, along with his partner, who I've never met or seen before in my life. Fantastic match. Again, nothing to speak home about, just great storytelling. They brought the people in. You hated Bullet Club.
And you wanted to cheer for Lee and Slater and his tag team partner. You wanted them to win, and when you thought, oh my god, they're going to win it.
Yep.
When they kicked out, like, oh no, they didn't win. So, as more stat, there was a great hot tag as well too, which you need a great hot tag. It's like, you know, great old school storytelling.
But Leon Slater, again, he had another good showing in the Rumble. So I'm finding that a lot of the things we're seeing now, we saw 6 months ago at Red Pro.
Yeah, it would have been 6 months. Yeah, because we didn't go to Summer Sizzler nor the anniversary. Because apparently at Summer Sizzler, that's when Michael Oku beat the Great O'Khan for the title.
Yeah, and now he's faced for the Empire. So
yeah. And the next match we had was between Gorillas of Destiny, Tambaloa and Tambatonga versus the Bullet Club War Dogs, which was with David Finlay, etc.
Finlay's crew.
Yeah, Finlay's crew. I mean, for me, I was like, what the fuck? I generally didn't realise God had left the Bullet Club. And I thought, was it Tambaloa who was the main face guy today? Not the one who took his shirt off, the other one who was kind of like doing the big facey moves and stuff, and doing like the slap one guy, slap the other guy, and then the crowd cheered.
Tamatonga is the one in red, and Tangaloa was the one in white.
Oh, okay.
And then you had El Phantasmo just jumping around all over the place. So yeah. The last time I saw God, Tamatonga had left and went face on his own.
Oh, okay.
And left Tangaloa as a heel, and El Phantasmo was also working heel. So again, this shows how long we haven't seen it. God are back together with El Phantasmo, and they're working face against Bullet Club. So God is nothing to do with the Bullet Club. I don't think it really was anyway. I think it was kind of like a side faction.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, this was a fun match.
Yeah, wasn't it, man? Yeah, it was good fun. I mean, the three guys, you can definitely tell Tangaloa is a really good face. Like, he has that great babyface fire in him. He has a great babyface reactions. Obviously, the Bullet Club themselves are massive heels. Saw as well that spitting amount of time they spat. Fucked me sideways. I've probably counted up 10 times they probably spat.
It was awful.
And then they spat at the fans as well too. I'm like, well,
I didn't agree with that.
I didn't. I feel like you should maybe spit at each other, but not the fans, because, you know, some fans might not like to be spat at or like to that sort
it's
of
actually
thing.
a criminal offence to spit at someone.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, totally.
But Yeah, again, to come back to the match, yeah, obviously Bullet Club were working heel. Um, they were controlling most of the match, being in sort of control of the match. Typical babyface fire working underneath. And then eventually the babyfaces won.
Yeah, I was just quite surprised actually. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, it was nice to see. Who got the pinfall? Was it?
El Fantasma,
It
wasn't
was
it?
Phantasmo, yeah.
Yeah,
Phantasmo,
and it was
so
quite cool to see him as face again. I remember he was part of the Bullet Club.
he was. Last time I saw Al Phantasmo was on an episode of New Japan, sort of like whatever their daily weekly show is. Sorry.
Ah, okay, what the Access show they used to do.
Yeah, the Access show, and he was working heel with Jay White. Obviously, Jay White now's in AEW, and sort of, things have changed so much. Wrestling is so quick. There's so much to watch.
I know.
You can lose plots, but I mean, we're back now. Know Your Wrestling is back, and don't worry, we'll be more frequent with our podcast, and Mark's going to be all in my arse to keep jumping on. So don't worry, guys, we will get back into the full swing of things and know what's actually happening. We're just giving you a live reaction.
Definitely.
So.
And also, as well, if Richy's up for doing it, beginning of next year, I'm going to start doing WrestleMania Road to WrestleMania 40. So if you want to be a part of it as well, Richy, where we review every WrestleMania together, please let me know, and then I'll be quite good, ready for it when WrestleMania 40 hits. So we'll be reviewing every WrestleMania from 1 to 40.
It's going to be a long road, guys, but it's going to be full of laughs. We're going to have a few quizzes, try and get some people involved, and we're going to have fun with it. We're going to have fun.
We're going to have a massive amount of fun. We're going to talk lots of bollocks, which is what we love. And
we love bollocks.
And then we do indeed. And then I'm thinking, as quizzes, we can quiz each other and see who gets the right amount of points when it comes to maybe a certain like Mania or something, where we can do like each WrestleMania. We can be like, all right, I do WrestleMania 1, you do 2, then you do 3, I do 4, or even odds and evens, and then we kind of do questions like, all right, then what was the number 1 song? What was the number 1 this, number 1 that? Or just whatever 5 questions we want about that sort of thing. But we don't know what, but then it would be just a surprise. One moment you could do, oh, all right, then what was the number 1 game? And then the following week you could be like, oh, forget about the game. What was the number 1 song in Japan? Or, something like that, because then that way it makes you think.
Yeah, okay, I'm up for that. But yeah, we'll, like Mark said, all the way to 40, we'll have a laugh. We'll make it fun, even if it's a shit show.
Like 4's fucking terrible.
Yeah, honestly.
And 9.
9, yeah. 9, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, join us on the ride, guys.
Yeah, definitely. The one I'm most looking forward to, both us reviewing. Then again, it'll probably be a bit of a love fest, is 17.
Yeah.
And 18, but that's more of a one-match show, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. And the next match we had was between Ren. Sorry.
Brilliant. Look at this, guys.
Ren Narita and Shota Umino versus United Empire, the Great Okan and Francesco Akira. I thought this was quite an interesting match. I love the fact as well that Shota Umino came out through the crowds. You got to give him a big high-fivey kind of thing. That was pretty cool.
I fist bumped him.
Yeah, you did. I thought it was pretty cool. I was going to, but he missed those.
I fisted Shooter.
You did indeed, yes.
I fisted Shooter, and by God, it felt good.
Do you think he looks like because the way he looks and like his style of clothing and stuff, looks a lot like a young Tanahashi.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, I reckon he models himself on him.
I do as well, because he definitely looks. Yeah, and I thought that match was great. Shota Umino's brilliant. Great, cool to see the Great Okan as well again.
It was weird having two. This was the first match, and I think it's the first, or it might be the only, where both teams were face.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Are the United Empire face? Is it more Ospreay when he's in the UK as a face? Because I never really get the whole. Is it kind of like a Bret Hart Foundation kind of thing? So when they're in their home country, they're a face, but when they're in Japan, they're heels.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. So I think they booked it and then realised maybe how's this going to work in the UK? So everyone just appreciated the art, but
yeah,
it was.
And I quite like the way the Empire works, because isn't each wrestler? I know besides Japan, but isn't most of the wrestlers in it because it's the United Empire from the Commonwealth?
Yeah, that's the whole idea of it. Yeah. I mean, as far as the match went, I enjoyed it. It was the first match without that heel face dynamic. I think United Empire started working or teasing sort of a bit of heelish movement. But yeah, I mean, again, it was nothing to write home about. Good match, but
Yeah, I
that's
thought it
all
was a
it
good match.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Bosmed out, so I'd give it probably 5 stars, no 3 stars. Sorry, I worked in the Tokyo time. It was good. It was all right.
Yeah, it was alright, yeah. Even there. Could have been more, could have been less. I mean, it was a good, fun pre 10-minute match. So, yeah.
Yeah,
And the next match we had was between just five guys, Doku and Sanada, versus Los Incaras de Japan, Bushi and Tatsuya Naito. I thought, like we were saying before, like I kind of feel like as much as it's cool to see Sanada as world champion or heavyweight world champion, whatever they call it now, I kind of find it to be a bit generic. But I thought it was interesting to have the world champion and Naito in a tag match, rather than having both of them in singles matches as well.
yeah. It's obviously Naito won the G1, so he's kind of going to be he's the number one contender. So it's maybe I mean, you could say, oh, they're touching gloves, but not being funny, when Sanada was like the Skull King, he worked with Naito all the time, so it's not like they're unfamiliar. I don't like Sanada like this.
I don't. I find him quite generic and boring. But then again, I can't really say much more than that because I don't really watch much King of Japan. I haven't really seen it as much as I used to because I don't have no time to really do it anymore because of work and stuff.
Well,
And it's a bit kind of like. And I mean, his moves are good. He's Christmas, but I mean, seeing the belt in real life, I kind of appreciate it more. But I still prefer the IWGP title belt more. In my opinion,
100%, like 110%. When it comes to Sanada, I was a massive Sanada fan. And when we was at the Summer Sizzler and he kind of made a surprise entrance and then he got involved in a 6-man tag, I was probably the biggest mark there. I loved his music. I loved the masks he used to wear. He used to have the bright, like, yellow hair. It was so cool. And now he's kind of like this clean-cut, good-looking chisel. I mean, he's always had a fantastic body. And his work is absolutely brilliant. I mean, you couldn't choose a better person to put the main championship on. But I don't know. There's nothing exciting about him.
No, isn't no, not really.
I don't know how long it's going to hold the.
I reckon he'll lose it at probably Wrestle Kingdom. Or maybe he might lose it earlier. Maybe they might do Naito against Okada again.
Naito's not getting any younger. I don't think he's ever won the heavyweight.
No, he's never won that. I don't think he's won the heavyweight. I know he's won the IWGP. Because one of the things I liked about the whole ring announcing as well is when they were coming out, they would be like, "This is the 7th IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. This is the 17th US UK Champion. This is how many time this champion." So it kind of gives that extra prestige to the champion.
It gives it kind of like a bit more,
So even if they might have lost a title twice before, it's like they are at this time the blah 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 time champion.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, everyone stood up when he made his entrance. It was kind of like still excited to see Sanada, and I love the fact that his career's put him in his trajectory. But I just hope it pays off. Like, I know it's Japanese pro wrestling, but you still need characters. Like Okada was still a character. Kenny Omega was like the cleaner, like in Japan.
Yeah.
Like AJ Styles was like evil AJ Styles, and he was like, Bullet Club.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. But you look at Sanada and say, okay, what's Sanada's character? He's got a really, really good haircut.
Yeah.
And an amazing pair of boots. And you go, wow, okay, what's about him then?
It kind of makes it seem like he is. I'm going to use a Pokemon term here. It seems like he's a young boy, but the mega evolution of a young boy.
Yeah, he's like Shooter but with a strap.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Shooter's not a young boy now, but
yeah, but you know what I mean, though, because his gear looked very young boyish. I'm not sure if Gato wanted to do it because he wanted to be like, let's, get in the women crowd and stuff who like this kind of style. But
also, I suppose,
feel like it took away a lot of his character for me.
I suppose, like a bit like John Cena, like he isn't like the long-haired, greasy pro wrestler like the Undertaker, who's like your traditional wrestler. They, this time of age, you had like the short hair, well spoken. Like maybe that's the idea that, or the kind of like, I don't know, like the line, the trajectory they wanted to go with Sonata. But I just hope it pays off for him.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too.
See him in here and how over Naito was. I reckon Naito's going to win this championship. They even said at the start of the match, number one contender for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. You go, well, why are you saying that? You're reminding everyone that he could be the next guy.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's Naito's time. After this match, I think it's Naito's time.
Yeah, same here. And also, I thought it was quite interesting after the match, they had a bit of a stare down and Naito had a tote bag.
Yeah, what was that bag all about?
I'm guessing it was supposed to be the briefcase, because he's wacky and crazy. He ended up being the
bag. Yeah. Bushi sprayed Mr. Sonata.
Yes.
Which again doesn't really make sense because Sonata was working heel the whole match, and then right at the end they blow mist into his face, and I was like, that's a bit of a heelish thing to do. And it wasn't even like a funny thing; it was kind of like a ooh.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Ha ha ha. I think that might have just come off. In terms of, it's probably more of a progressive storyline for the main event at Wrestle Kingdom in January, maybe.
Yeah.
So obviously that's starting to approach now. We're in October. So maybe they're sowing seeds. Yeah, January 4th. I reckon they're sowing seeds. I reckon that's what tonight was. It was a transition match. So, yeah, nothing to talk about. It was okay. Sonata didn't take the loss. It was done by his tag team partner. And then Naito picked up the W.
win. Yeah, but the W, yeah. With respect special.
Yeah, I love that kind of round the world reverse DDT thing he does.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
It's a lovely move.
Very nice. The next match we had was between Michael Oku, Hiroshi Tanahashi and Eddie Kingston versus United Empire, consisting of TJP, Jeff Cobb and Harari. I thought this match was alright. I mean, as much as I love Tanahashi, I think he's an absolute legend and should be respected for what he's done for wrestling, but he's just getting on for me, man. Some of the moves he was doing, you can tell he's had a lot of wear and tear on his body. You can tell, he's had too much punishment to his body and stuff. But it was cool to see him live though, and I thought Eddie Kingston was, as much as I'm not a massive Eddie Kingston fan, it's cool to see him. Obviously, I tried to fit Eddie because he was like, oh my god, he's there, sort of thing. But and it was cool to see him, and I thought the bit when he was just chopping the guy in the corner several times was a bit kind of like, really?
Yeah.
I didn't really react to that. I was like, okay, other people have on. Just like, yeah.
I found the match a joke. You had Michael Oku, who's our Rev Pro champion in there. Eddie Kingston, who's like, Ring of Honor World champion.
Ring of Honor World and the New Japan Strong World.
So he's got two straps. Like, I mean, we had a guy who obviously paid good money to be on the same seats we were, and he ended up walking out for a fag, and he shouted at Kobe, Eddie must have heard him say, "You're a crap wrestler," and go back, like you're absolute. It was really offensive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really bad.
Hate.
Yeah. Well, a lot of us were looking like, what the fuck is this guy saying?
Someone said, calm down, mate. Like, Jesus Christ, this is pro wrestling. We're here for a laugh. Like,
yeah. I mean, boo the guy you don't like, but don't be a dick about it, you know.
Yeah. It wasn't even in character. I think he generally just hated him as a worker. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a big Eddie Kingston fan. I'm not going to sit here and say, man, do you remember that match of Eddie Kingston when the heavens opened up and God come down and sat ringside? It was that good. There's no matches for me. I don't rate Eddie.
There's one match I rated Eddie with, and that was against Punk. That's the only match I've seen with Eddie Kingston in that I'm like, this is a really good match.
Yeah, and to be honest, I've not seen much of his New Japan work, but I just associate him with Moxley, and next thing you know, they're sticking sort of like kebab sticks in their head.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like All In. It was All In. That was the biggest unison piss break ever.
I mean, I did that. I piss break. I mean, we made jokes and even people around us laughed. It's like, how long do you reckon it take Moxley to bleed? And we were like, 2 minutes, and he bled in like 2 minutes. Like, yeah.
Yeah, It was a little bit of a spot fest, 6-man. Unfortunately, Ace made a few. Tanahashi made a few mistakes, and went up to do like middle rope stuff and slipped and went, oh, like everyone sort of like there was like that awkward silence in the crowd. And I think for me, my takeaway from that match was I still don't really like Eddie Kingston as a worker. Probably a fantastic person.
Fantastic person, fantastic on the mic, but not that great in the ring.
Oh man, the guy can throw a promo.
Oh, he can.
He really
amazing.
Can.
I mean, that's how he got the job in AEW originally, because of his amazing promo.
Yeah, he's a fantastic talker. And he knows he's not in the best wrestling shape. He made a joke of that tonight when everyone was sort of taking their jackets off. He pretended to pull down his singlet. Went, nah, don't do that. He like spoon-fed himself, saying, "I like my food too much." Like, but I'm just not a fan of that style of wrestling. With Eddie. I mean, Michael Oku was great, but again, you're showcasing your world champion in a 6-man tag.
Yeah.
When really they could have put him against someone like maybe Bone Soldier, who opened the show. Imagine Michael Oku and Bone Soldier as your opening match, or before the semi-main. Would have been awesome. You gave them 20 minutes. Would have been brilliant.
Yeah, massive, man.
So,
hugely huge.
I think a waste for Michael Oku.
Yeah, same
Eddie Kingston was just there for the cheap pop. Bullet Club, I don't rate Finlay. He just likes to spit at people, and I think he's out of shape. To me, the match, that was probably my thumbs down for tonight.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah. Same here, man. I completely agree.
Who won?
Michael Oku, did he get the pin?
Michael Oku got a roll-up.
That was the roll-up. Yeah, he got the roll-up.
He got a pull smackage.
He did, yes, a pull smackage.
A pull smackage. We're going to pull them up.
Indeed, roll them up.
Pull smackage. I'm going to get you and roll you up.
For the 1, the 2, the 3.
Get you nice and tight and roll you up. Nothing. Again, it sounds like it was a bad show, but it really wasn't, guys.
It was great. I mean, going on to the amazing matches, the next match we had was between Shingo Takagi versus Ishii.
Oh, man.
That match was fucking insanely good, man.
Rampage Dragon against flipping Ishii, Pitbull, Stone Pitbull.
I know. There were what match? There were a few moments I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm surprised some of those moves weren't banned, like the headbutts. But other than that, I thought the match was brilliant. Both men were so good. They sold each other's moves so well. When they kicked out, it was insane.
Yeah.
Some of the moments, the crowd was on their feet. The time went so quickly. You were like, what the fuck is 20 minutes?
That's one thing about tonight. When they say 5 minutes have gone, next thing you know, 10 minutes. You think, where has that gone? Like,
yeah, I know.
This match was put on the card purely because we're New Japan and we're going to show you a New Japan strong style wrestling match with 2 Japanese wrestlers.
Yes.
And it was literally, you could hear the clotheslines, and oh man.
You could hear the chops, you could hear the slaps, you could hear every move.
I'm not a fan of forearms, but forearms in this match
actually worked.
Oh, you could hear it was really, I think, as far as Japanese pro wrestling goes, and I see quite a lot of it at Rev Pro, and we went to the New Japan show, I think this is the first ever real strong style Japan wrestling match I've been in attendance for, and thought, this is strong style done properly.
Oh yeah, totally.
I really, 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 really enjoyed it. Loads of false finishes.
You had no idea who was going to win the match and stuff, so you were kind of thinking, is this guy going to win? Is this guy going to win?
And you didn't actually care. Again, okay, I'd said earlier about 2 faces working together. This was 2 faces working together. And towards the end of the match, with all the false finishes, no one cared who won. I think there was like this, I need it to stop because I feel a little bit uneasy because this is really, really violent, but flipping hell, this is cool.
It wasn't it, man. It was so good, dude. And just shows us how fucking insane Ishii is as well to go through that. And Shingo Takagi, I'm like, that man is fucking good.
Oh,
like, he should be the champion again. Like, he was, some of his matches were fucking insane.
I remember watching him at Rev Pro and just thinking, like, this, like, obviously he's a Japanese legend, really. But he's only really starting to make his UK stuff in the last, like, 5 to 10 years. Yeah, he's awesome. He could easily carry the world championship, and everyone would respect that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, wasn't he champion as well?
I think he has been champion.
He's been champion a few times.
I think he's like a football champion. So
I think he either lost it or beat Ospreay for it. I think him and Ospreay had some really good matches in
They have had
Japan
some
as well.
bangers.
Some bangers as well. So yeah.
Yeah, this is easily my second favourite match of this evening.
Oh yeah, mine too.
Very, very close though.
Oh,
For
massively
separate
close.
reasons.
Yes, and going on to that, the main event of the evening for the IWGP United Kingdom Championship between Will Ospreay versus our boy Zack Sabre Jr.
The British wrestling scene is in a wee bit of a pickle right now, and it needs me to step up. It's not me like rubbing in people's faces or anything like, oh, British wrestling or anything along those lines. I'm very, very proud. This championship means I am the best in the world, and I have proven that. I have beaten them all. And Zack, the two guys that were the backbone of British wrestling.
Will, there's no doubt you and I are the best British wrestlers in the world. Let's find out for that belt.
Since 2004, since I was 16 years old, I've led the British wrestling scene. As a British wrestler, as a technical wrestler. Will Ospreay is a moron. He'll never be able to defeat me. Mother.
Stormbreaker!
Here we go! Stormbreaker! He's got it! And Zack Sabre Jr. has won the New Japan Cup!
A rivalry that's defined British wrestlers in New Japan Pro Wrestling and two of the best in the world.
My name is Will Ospreay, and I am on another level!
I've been at the top of British wrestling for close to 2 decades now. The best wrestler in the world right now, Will Ospreay. Let's find out, Will. Let's find out.
I mean, the reason I call him our boy is because he's from Kent. And Zack Sabre Jr. is fucking awesome.
I shouted out, let's do it for Sheppy, and someone did turn around and laugh.
Oh yeah. And also as well, the amount of crowd cheering for both, screaming for both. There was a huge fuck the Tories chant, and I'm like, hell yeah, anything that is against those bastards, I'm very happy about.
That was quite funny, that fuck the Tories.
And then you can see, it was just saying, Will Ospreay dancing, Zack Sabre Jr. laughing it up and stuff. And I thought that match was just insane. There was one point I needed to go to the toilet. I was like, fuck it, it's a bit of a lull, I'm going to go. And I was like, did I miss much? No, I was like, thank the Lord, because I didn't want to miss any of the match because it was so good. The crowd were in it every step of the way.
Yeah.
There was no silent moments. The crowd stood up several times. They were like, the moves were insane. Every move meant something. Zack Sabre Jr. is this technical wizard. Will Ospreay is, even though he's gone down a bit in his high flyingness, he's still, in my opinion, one of the best in the world, like ever. He's so good.
Yeah.
And I love the fact as well, like that he laughed about the tattoo and when people were chanting about the tattoo and stuff.
Oh, at the end.
He took it at the end and that kind of thing. And I thought for me, I know the previous match we spoke about was great. This match for me is one of my matches of the night for me. One of my matches of the year. I believe it's definitely a 5-star match. And it's one of those matches I believe as well is something that if no one's ever watched wrestling or they want to see good British wrestlers wrestle,
yeah,
this match is that, because you know you have some great hard-hitting action. Both men are loved by the crowd, even though technically both men are supposed to be heels, but we don't care. We want to cheer for our guy.
We're at home, so
yeah, we're home, and it's just great to see these two men show to the world, in especially Japan, America, etc., why British wrestling is seen for many people some of the best wrestling in the entire world.
yeah. I mean, I do second everything you said, and in terms of the actual match, what I liked about it, and when I saw the card come up, and I thought, okay, well, you got Zack Sabre Jr., who's a technical mat wrestler, and then you got Will Ospreay, that's formerly an aerial assassin, but he's now he's working more of in a way, a bit more of an American heavyweight kind of style. What I liked about the match is it kind of started off, and it was really, obviously most matches you have the, when I used to like do it, like you don't start off going straight in with like strikes, you do sort of like chain wrestling, And when you've got someone like Zack Sabre Jr. leading that, and then it led into like the final of the match, and I'm not being disrespectful, Will Ospreay's been in a lot more higher tier matches than he's used to probably called in the match.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally.
And I think having Zack Sabre, it was literally like, it was perfect. Because Zack Sabre Jr. was probably calling the start of the match, the whole technical ground game, and when it got going and going and going, I bet you any money Ospreay was like, now we do this. Bring it, calm down. Right, do something. Slow it down. Speed it up. Slow it down. It was absolutely poetic. It, like you said, if no one's ever watched professional wrestling, especially being English as well, British, this is 100% worth a watch. Like, this is probably one of the best British matches I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, me too, me too.
I've seen some good stuff on NXT, but this really was fantastic.
Oh, totally. It felt like, to me, like an analogy that Chris Jericho used against his match against Punk. It felt a lot like, in a sense, Stairway to Heaven. It started off slow, and then it got better and better and faster and faster and faster. And for me, the time flew so much. Like the time just flew.
Yeah.
It didn't. When I was saying 10 minutes had gone, I was like, "Fuck, really? 10 minutes have gone?" I thought it was longer than that. It was such a good match, and for me, 5 stars. My match of the night. And my 2 MVPs as well, probably those 2 men.
I mean, this was like an hour draw. Like, it wasn't an hour draw. It had an hour time limit, so you knew that was going to the end. But when they was like 30 minutes, I was like, oh, can't it be 10 minutes have gone? Because it was that good.
It was, wasn't it, man?
I could
so good.
If they were still wrestling right now, I'd be loving it. I could watch them, and they could do an hour draw.
Oh, they really could. Yeah, they really could. And you can tell the chemistry and the respect they had for each other. They put on that great of a match as well. And then after the match, we had Will Ospreay not shake, but Zack Jr. kissed Will Ospreay, and then Will Ospreay did a really good promo. It was, wasn't it, man? It was so cool. It's kind of like not the passing the torch, as it were, but you can see that love and respect for each other, because you've got to think they've had so many great battles, especially in Rev Pro.
Yeah, they've done a lot for the British wrestling scene. I mean, you know, you had your giant haystacks, and you had your sort of like big daddies, and, you know, like the world of sports stuff. But wrestling now is so big and kind of like, it's so interconnected, and they work a lot in Japan to get eyes on the products, and then they come back home and they're bringing Japanese wrestlers across, and everyone's working together. I mean, coming back to the match, Will Ospreay won clean. Which I'm quite surprised, considering he had the other guys around the ring. I was thinking, are they going to interfere? But they didn't interfere at all, which I'm quite surprised about. Yeah, I must admit, when they come out, I was thinking, please don't start interfering with the match. I just want to see these two go and tell a story and give me a clean winner, which they did. And like you said, after Will Ospreay won, he hit with a Stormbreaker and won. When that finally happened after them false finishes, like you said just then, they went to shake hands, and you know, Ospreay held his hand out, and Zack sort of pushed his hand away and gave him a kiss on the cheek, and it wasn't cocky, it was love you, bro. It was great. It was, and Zack walked away. He went to the backstage and he left Ospreay out there to do his thing, and it was absolutely brilliant.
It was so good. And we're going to put it onto the YouTube channel as well as the podcast feed. Will Ospreay's endings thing as well, so like his post-match thing, which was really, really cool. And that was the end of the night. Great show, amazing show. Final 2 matches, some of the 2 best matches ever and stuff. If you guys want to watch a good New Japan / Rev Pro show, I recommend this. Obviously, Richie, what would be your, obviously we know about each other's match tonight. What would be your MVP?
MVP of the night, I would say Zack Sabre Jr. For me, Zack Sabre Jr. I love Zack Sabre Jr. I always have, and he's a Kent lad, and so are we.
Oh yeah.
But I think his technical ability in the ring should be boring, in the fact that ground wrestling isn't like aerial wrestling or like fast-paced cruiserweights, and he's one of the most technical wrestlers out there, and I watch him and still in absolute awe of what he can do.
Oh yeah, me too. There was a few moments, me and you were like,
you hear the crowd like wincing, and
able to control Ospreay like he does, using his body and stuff, and contortionist. Yeah. He was my MVP as well.
Oh, that's great. So we ended up with the same MVP. It wasn't Will, it was Zack Sabre Jr.
Yes. Yeah. So overall, Richie, when it comes to the other shows that you've watched, where would you kind of put that to all the other shows? I would probably put it up quite high up. Especially for the last 2 matches alone.
Yeah, I think I would put it up higher.
And I thought, for me, the pacing was good. Oh, another question, sorry, was what do you think about the fact that most of the time there was an interval? Tonight was no interval.
No, there weren't an interval. It felt like a much quicker show than what it was. I suppose, I'll tell you what, the venue made it quite easy from where we sat to quickly run and get a drink or go for a week. I suppose that's an arena. You've got multiple places. I mean, Red Pro at the York Hall, you go and get a drink or a Snickers bar, you're queuing for like forever.
Oh, you are,
It
yes.
is absolutely dog shit for that. The staff are fucking so slow. But being an arena, I suppose, because it's an arena show and it was televised, it was being streamed to New Japan World, you can't have an interval. You don't watch SmackDown and then go, right, we're having a half-hour break, we're going to put the news on for half hour. It was a constant show, so I liked it. I thought the pacing worked well. In terms of where I'd put it up high. I'd put it next to Uprising when it was the Bullet Club night. It had the same kind of feel as that, like a big show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. For me, out of 10, I'd give it a solid 8.
Yeah, me too.
Solid
8. Great matches, great crowd, amazing semi-main and main. Yeah, definitely be there, Richie. Perfect. So yeah, anything else you want to talk about before we sign off?
No, just want to apologise that I've been away for a while, and this is my comeback episode, and I'm really, really excited to get this WrestleMania sort of like string of podcasts going, and financial crisis, and we might not be able to go to many shows as we'd like to go to, but we're going to try. And I'll tell you what, Mark, we'll have a talk off the podcast, but maybe we should go halves on, like, maybe one of us do New Japan World and the other, one of us does Red Pro on demand, and maybe we do review shows if we don't attend.
Yeah, definitely. I love it before we did the watch along of one of the Rev Pro shows. Remember?
Yeah, we done a watch along of Rev Pro, and we also done a watch along with another show during lockdown. So yeah, that's what I want to say. We're going to be back. We're going to be more current, and we're going to be a lot more frequent.
Yes, because obviously with the podcast, as you notice, I'm doing a lot more podcasts on the feed and stuff now. I'm not just focusing too much on the YouTube and the shorts now like that. Focusing back on the podcast, focusing back for you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys will like this stuff and enjoy our Rev Pro show we're going to start doing, as well as hopefully in the future after WrestleMania 1 to 40, we're going to go back to do the good, the bad, and the Bischoff that we started all those years ago. You're going to hear me and Tony doing more retro rivalry, same thing as me and him. Just so busy doing work and stuff. So yeah, we're going to do more stuff in general together. Yeah,
it's going to be a big push for the podcast. Tony's working with Mark on other projects. Mark and I do the wrestling. We've got Jess, who's not part of the podcast, but she's one of our kind of like friends that comes to the show. So maybe we can get her input on some stuff, and it's going to be an exciting time for the podcast. And we're really going to give it a push. So 2024 is going to be awesome. It really is
indeed. Really, really is. And that, guys, was Naya Wrestling. We have been your amazing hosts, as always. Mark Silvester, along the main man, Richy Filmer. Anything you want to plug at all to the peaks, Richie, before we do the proper, see you later, always remember kind of bollocks?
Yeah, there's one thing I would say. I'm going to roll your real tight like Paul Smackage. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Peace.
Make your way to the crown.